Hey, what's up, guys? Dave here at Charts of the Day, where I take a look at the Amazon charts for the trading day. Today is July 22nd, 2025, and Amazon did not have a great a day as it did yesterday, that's for sure. Um, I'll show you, here's the first chart I have. This is where I bought today, 226.75. I felt like, the drop had exhausted itself. And I was wrong to a certain extent because it did drop down to around 226.34 before it had a bit of a recovery. But started out, as you can see, right out of the gate, moving down pretty quickly. And I thought this was an opportunity here. It turns out it was. I mean, it's higher at the end of the trading day than it was when I bought it, and I haven't sold it yet. I'm still holding it, but anyway, this is where I bought, and then it kind of continued to migrate down. I was wondering if it was going to go down in like 225. I was a little worried there, and then we had a bit of a, as you can see, a bit of a move up, and then back down, and then move up again. This pink line here is VWAP. VWAP, for anyone who's a new trader, is a very important indicator on your chart. And you could see it struggled all day. I mean, to get to VWAP. It went up a little bit at the very end over VWAP and then dropped back down in the aftermarket. But definitely a very different day from yesterday and from last Friday, where we had two great days. But you can't have great days all the time. And you'll see here, this is true momentum oscillator, and you can see the red. It's just going down. There was a little bit of a hope here, and then continued to trend down. And then we had a pretty good little push up, and then again back down, and then back up and down, coming after the close. So, a little bit of a troubling day. But if you bought, hopefully you bought lower down, maybe around where I did, or if you're even smarter than me, maybe a little lower. Hopefully you didn't get caught up, you know, out of the gate, because that's a lot of ground to make up there. Let me just show you yesterday's chart just for reference. This was the good old days yesterday here. This was a monumental day for Amazon. But back to today, which is what this is all about. And so that's one chart I want to show you. Let's kind of go through these different charts that I have. Before I do that, this is adaptive. What do I have here? Adaptive relative strength. So that's this line here. Usually when adaptive relative strength pushes above VWAP, which is this line here, you're off to the races. Matter of fact, let me just show you yesterday's chart, and you can see here where it crossed. See that? If you have adaptive relative strength on your trading platform, I would use it as a study. It's really good, but you can see where it crossed VWAP, and it just took off yesterday. It did not today. It just never got there. So unfortunate, but that is the day we had. So let me load up another one here. We take a look at. Again, this is a little bit of a different one, but you can see just red, 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 red all the way down through midday. And this blue candle here, this is I believe that's an engulfing candle, and that it's kind of a signal that this was going to push up here, which it did. I mean, it went from what 226.87 up to 227.72. So a nice little bump there, back down, and then again a recovery toward the end of the day. All right, here's another one I have for you. Okay, so again, this is known as a cloak, and so what this basically does is you can see this green bar here, but it blocks it out. It basically is looking for a trend, and one green candle is not a trend, so it just kept going down in red. Here's a buy signal. I believe that was the engulfing candle as well. Could be wrong, but then it went up, and of course down and up again. So that's that one. Okay, so this is fib lines and retracement, and here's the 0.50. We didn't even get there today. I mean, it never made it. So it got close, may have touched the line, but it was all down in the very low range today, and just not a lot of strength throughout the day. You can see some big sells here, people selling, and there's one big buy. So a lot of sells today, one big buy. Let me just take you back to yesterday, and you can see once it pushed above VWAP, a lot of big buys, one sell, one big sell, and then a big buy here. So again, getting above that VWAP is, if you have VWAP on your trading platform, which I think they all do, you should always have VWAP on your chart because it's a great indicator, and it's just something that I strongly recommend. It's a very common one, and we've got another chart down, a chart a little bit later. I'm going to show you another common one that I think is very helpful. But anyway, you can see here, it's just not doing much today. And here is the other one I want to talk about. This one is the Hall Moving Average, known as HMA, Hall, Hull Moving Average. So for new traders, this is one that I would highly recommend you have on your chart. The Hall Moving Average and your VWAP. Now, the Hall Moving Average, you'll see one of the advantages to this is it goes down in one color and up in another color. So it gives you a good frame of reference as to where you might want to trade, buy or sell. Now, the Hall Moving Average, the standard is 20. What I recommend is if you put this on your chart, you go into the preferences and you change it from 20 to 10. I like a faster Hall Moving Average. That's my preference. You may want to leave it as standard, but for me, primarily I'm not swing trading. I'm usually day trading this stock, Amazon, but there are days like today where I'm holding it over for another day or two, maybe. We'll have to see, but generally I do more day trading on the stock than swing trading, and so I want the Hall Moving Average to be running a little faster here. So this is a really good chart for anybody who is new to set up a chart and have that on there. Okay, this is a long and short chart, and this one, again, short, you usually hear that in options, but short is sell for people that are not doing options. And it's just, it's just a big run down. I bought here, thought I knew it all. Thankfully, it recovered above that, and hopefully tomorrow it'll pick back up. But here's where, on this chart, it said, hey, go long. So much later in the day. And let's see what else we have here. There's another one. This is kind of a wild chart, but you can see it's all red. This is where I bought. Now, here's where you had that one green 10-minute candle. By the way, I use a 10-minute chart. 10 minutes. So these are 10-minute candles. And the reason I do that is for some stocks I'll use a 5-minute candle. That's sort of standard, but Amazon doesn't typically go up or down that fast. And I feel like a 10-minute candle is better because it gives you more time to think about it, not make a rash decision on buying or selling, and it also keeps you, a little more calmer instead of having a real busy chart. But you see here on this 10-minute chart, you had this one candle, and but it continued in the red down here. So this is a false reading here. Here it's telling you to buy, and it's showing green, and really it should have showed it here. This is where the arrow should have been. So this chart is off a bit today. I'll have to look at the settings I have on this and may have to speed it up some. But now if you look at this, just for the heck of it, let's look at, so this was around, okay, so let's look at the 5-minute on this. Okay, so the 5-minute on this, yeah, so you had a couple of green candles. So if you're on a 5-minute chart, you might think, now it's time to buy, I got 2 5-minute candles, but it really didn't last long. And so that's, to kind of smooth things out for Amazon, I use a 10-minute chart. But, that's a preference. People have 1-minute charts up, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, half-hour charts. So, whatever makes you comfortable is what you should use. But for me, on Amazon, I used a 10-minute. And I'll show you one more chart today on this. And this is like the ABCDE type pattern, zigzag, swing, whatever you want to call it. And then you use your A, B, C, D, E, F. And so again here on this chart that I used, this was another sort of a false buy signal. You can see down here it's saying buy it, but really it was just kind of crashed down after that. Here was a good signal. This was a good sell. This was a good buy signal. So most of them are good signals. The thing you have to really think about is when you put indicators or studies on your charts, you can't rely on them 100% to be accurate. It's just not the way it is. So you have to have some intuition. You have to have some experience in trading stocks. And I don't mean for a week. I mean, you need to have years of experience a lot of times to really ferret this stuff out. And even for me, with a lot of experience that I have, I kind of bit right here. 226.75 is where I bought it. And, again, it went down to 226.30. Let me move myself out of the way here. 226.34-ish. So, that was like a 40-some cent loss, but I didn't sell, so I didn't lose anything. And if I would have sold today, I mean, let's say if I sold here at 227.80 when I bought for 226.75, that's a $1.05 a share profit. But I really feel like Amazon can push up higher than that. And the thing to keep in mind about Amazon is their quarterly earnings report's coming out on August 7th. And, so this stock may march up further as it gets closer to that quarterly earnings report, which is about 2 weeks out. And the high for the year, the yearly high for the stock is 242.52. So, at 227, it does have room to move up. I mean, quite a bit. And I actually think it will move up as it gets closer to earnings. So, but I trade this. This is the only stock I trade now. I used to trade fast moving, stocks under $10, the ones where you get it on your scanner and it's shooting up and you're making a big buy and a big sell in 2 minutes or 1 minute sometimes, it could be that quick of a buy and sell. And, I've done swing trading before, just pure swing trading. And so I found my happy place trading Amazon as a day trade and occasional swing if I think there's more of an opportunity to, to make more money, which is what everybody wants, right? So that's it. Now let me go back here. I want to, I did this yesterday. I want to take us back 5 days, 5 trading days, and then 10 days. And so we can get more of a zoomed out look beyond just today and even yesterday. So let me go in here first and just put up the standard candles. And take this off of here now. Remove that from the drawing. And go up and let's make this. Let's start out looking at 5 days, 30 minutes. Okay, and yeah. So you can see. So we look at let's do a trend line. That was the highest point over the last 5 trading days. Up to the highest point here. And then let me make sure I'm getting this right. I need to look at this. So really this is kind of the push up here. This really is just kind of in the background at this point. There we go. So you can see it was trending up, really nicely, nice trend line up, and then today, not so much. So, it right here, it broke through the lower trend line, and it looks like, it may be, of course, this is, at the end of the day in post-market, so, can't put too much into this, but it looks like he's trying to trek back up. We'll see how it goes, how it does overnight, and tomorrow pre-market. And by the way, if you have extended trading options on your platform, like Schwab has 24-hour, 5-day trading on Thinkorswim, which is this platform here is Thinkorswim under Schwab. One of the things I look for is Sunday night. They actually start the extended trading at 8 p.m. Sunday night, and that sometimes can give you kind of a preview of the direction that a stock might be, heading the next day. Not always true, but and I've actually traded one time. I bought at 8 o'clock Sunday night on an extended trade and sold it, I think, 10, 15 minutes later, So trading is not just within market hours anymore. You have pre-market, you have post-market, and now you have extended trading, and different platforms have different time frames when they'll let you trade. But I think we're going to be coming to a point where trading is going to be almost 24/7. We're not there yet. So let me go back and take a look at this. Let's go back 10 days. I'll put it on 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, this is, you can't even write it here, but let's take it from here. And up over. Low point here. Yeah, so what you have here, and in between these two blue lines, is range trading. So you can see it's popping up within there. And today it's still within the range, but the range is widening. You see that at the bottom? It's widening out, which is a little disconcerting because it gives you more room to run down before it hits the bottom trend line. But I have a lot of faith in Amazon. you know, they don't pay me. I'm not a spokesman for Amazon, but you know, they're into everything. I mean, they're into, of course, retail, which a lot of people know about, but they're into data centers, storage, AI. I mean, they're really the whole kit and caboodle, if you will. But anyway, that's the charts for the day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a cleaner, brighter day for Amazon. You never know, right? I mean, I can sit here and show you charts and tell you I'm an expert. I probably know a lot more than a lot of people, but it's you know, guessing what the market's going to do from day to day that's part of the challenge, really. You know, I would say not watch the news, but look out for big news. You know, the Fed announcements, earnings. Another big one that's coming up is August 1st. That's when the Trump administration's saying they're going to kind of take the hard line in the sand on tariffs. You know, that could be a big nothing for the market, but it could also be a big down day, you know, if a deal isn't done. So we have to keep an eye on that day as well. Anyway, I hope you liked the charts and sort of the analysis I have for you. If you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.